you little stuffy in here.
It is.
Okay, I'd like to call the Human Service meeting to order, please. Please note the meeting is being transmitted live via video stream. It is now, the public can find this link on the video stream by visiting the Orange County website, www.orangecountygov.com, by clicking the tab for the legislature and locating the Human Services meeting on the calendar. The microphones are very sensitive. Please be sure to silence your cell phones, tablets, and other electronic devices. And yeah, just stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now 3:33. Doreen, if you wouldn't mind, roll call.
Absolutely. Amo.
Here.
Anagnostakis. Ellers.
Here.
Luhan.
Present.
Hotel.
Present.
Tui.
Here.
Sutherland.
Here.
7 present, 1 absent.
Okay, great. Commissioner Miller, if you wouldn't mind coming up and sharing your DSS report with us and updates. Good afternoon. It has to be cool even in air conditioning. So let's begin with the monthly report. You find very little change in temporary assistance and safety net. And you see that throughout our eligibility program, we have had some increase in SNAP. And I will tell you that applications are flying in. With the increased costs, the challenges in the economy, people think that they'll be eligible because things cost more, but they're not. So we're processing applications. We were in Saratoga yesterday, meeting with the state commissioners, the DSS commissioners across the state, and just suggested that there might be a faster track for applications when we know initially just isn't going to make it. Because our staff had to go through the whole process of eligibility to determine that someone's not eligible, and it's high rate of applications, and so it's a lot for the workforce. But we feel for people in our community. We understand that they're challenged. We know that they are still using, food banks and getting support where they can in that way. And everyone who's eligible will certainly receive benefits. We're just challenged with that. Additionally, there was an issue, and you may have seen it in the papers, where we had theft of benefits. So about 20, we believe, of our consumers had their EBT cards, identity theft, and someone stole their money. So that we can see where the benefit was spent. Some was spent in Texas, spent in other states. So of course, we reached out to New York State Office of Temporary Disability Assistance immediately. We didn't hear a whole lot back from them other than they can report it to the police, and we have to issue a new EBT card. They confirmed yesterday that they do not have the authority to replace those benefits. They also received notification from federal elected officials asking them to do something. They said, it's your regulations that keeps us from doing something. So I'm still hopeful that they're going to come together and be able to reimburse these individuals for benefits. When you're feeding your family, one was as much as $900 have been stolen off her EBT card. It's a lot of money to take out of a household that's not replaced. So we'll continue to monitor. You said there were about 20 families that was affected in the county? Correct, yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Darcy, with, when you say it's being spent there, and all, I know that's happened with all of our, cards at one point or another, I had stuff that was spent in Brazil, but with an EBT card, it's local, it gets mailed to them, right? So this isn't someone that's getting it out of a mailbox or something, someone's skimming these off at
Correct. It's like a charge
gathering
card.
center or something?
Yeah, it's like a charge card. If their benefit goes right on their EBT card, their benefit card. So, we don't mail it out every month. They just have the card, just like we have a credit card, it gets replenished.
Yeah,
Correct.
replenishes, yeah.
Right. And so someone somehow is going, and our numbers are 20. New York City yesterday reported in the thousands, so significant numbers. And it's very concerning.
You had a question first.
Thanks. Thanks, Legislator Tonto.
I have two questions. One, approximately how many applications are you receiving and processing in a week, say? And then the other part, were we able to do anything for these families who lost, those 20 families, to give them emergency food sources or something to help them navigate through that month that they've now lost their benefits for? What were we able to do without having to wait for legislation from the federal government to replenish it?
We were able to give them the list of the food banks and food pantries across the county so they could get that support. It's really saddened us that we don't have any authority. We can't even issue an emergency benefit. Like, for example, if you have a storm and people's electricity go out and they lose the contents of the refrigerator, New York State will give us authority to give out an emergency benefit. That does not qualify in this case. So unfortunately, we were not able to reimburse those families with their benefit.
And about how many applications are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, anywhere from 200, we went as high as 300 and plus during the pandemic, but we're over 200 at this point and. You know,
In a
it's
week?
In a week, yes.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Legislator Randolph?
Or just, what's the amount of money that these 20 families lost? So,
You know, I would be guessing because, you know, one was as high as 900 and another that sticks in my mind is 400 and I don't know the 18 in between. So I don't know what the total will be, but at most, you know, say 15,000, not a significant amount of money, but, you know, money.
Legislator Lujan?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have the authority to, just a question, we have the authority just to approve $15,000 of the budget session to give somebody, we pay these people money. That may be totally off the wall. I'm just asking, do we have the authority to do that? Anybody else?
I don't know. I have to ask council.
The most you could do is make a recommendation for us to do that. Yeah, and you know,
And it's sad to have, and I understand.
I hear you.
We're sitting on.
it is a slippery, it's a slippery slope, because it is a federal benefit, so it's full federal dollars, that is paid through SNAP benefit. And to me, if you're going to have 20 in this county, maybe 10 in another, and 1,000 in another, and I don't mean to criticize anybody, but now it's become an issue. If you can safeguard to prevent that from happening, which we all hope, right, with our identities, with our cards, you know, it's a risk everybody takes. But we have safeguards, right? I've had it happen on my cards and they just reimburse me once you prove it's fraud. So I hear you. I really think it's something that should be addressed in the appropriate process, and these folks should be reimbursed. At this point, we have connected them with food. We support anybody to prevent them from going hungry. That's not the story that's being told to me. Are they out that money? Yes. And do we hope that they will be reimbursed? I would prefer, although listen, my bleeding heart, I'd give them out, give it to them in a second. I think it's something that needs to be fixed in the system.
Is Congressman Maloney, is he aware
Yes.
of this? Is he
Yes.
able to do anything? or-
Congressman Maloney he's the one who sent, I believe, and I shouldn't speak out of turn, but I believe, and his name wasn't mentioned, but I believe he's the one who sent the letter to New York State OTDA asking them to do something about it. So he communicated with the commissioner of OTDA, Commissioner Tetz, and they have a back and forth. So hopefully we will see.
But is it a matter of
Congressman.
something for New York State to do if it's federal money, or does he need to go higher up down in DC?
Correct.
Legislator Lujan, you had a question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question was, have we been able to identify how these funds are being released? I know that sometimes with credit cards, they put scanners over the gas station monitor. They've gotten a lot more, advanced on how they try to keep people's identity. And especially if you're saying that there's a lot in New York City, a lot of these 20 people could have been people who ended up in New York City for the weekend or something.
I would hope that New York State has some ability to assess that. I mean, it's their system,
course.
right? So I'm hoping that they are looking into that. And again, I raised it first from here, send it up through. My staff have had numerous conversations with the state. And then I sent it to our Public Welfare Association. They sent it to all the commissioners. So that's when I learned that there are other counties that were experiencing the same. all of us are pushing forward, and it came up in discussion yesterday directly with the commissioner. So I'm hopeful that he's going to take this communication with, I believe, Congressman Maloney and have it be moved forward, because it is going to need to be federal regulation change in order to have replacement. I think we all use credit cards because we know if there is fraud on it, that, you know, we're not going to be held
Safeguard.
liable for
Yeah.
it, right? I feel the same way about this benefit as well.
Can you let us know, as soon as you hear anything about
Yes.
the process and reimbursements?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Legislator Flutie.
Thank you, Chairman. One follow-up question, was it, because I know multiple benefits get deposited on those cards. Was it just the SNAP benefits that were affected, or was it any of their other benefits in their cards also?
We've heard rumor that it is affecting cash benefit. We have not experienced that locally, but we're certainly monitoring for that. And I believe the response from the state is different when it is cash benefit. So they were concerned and wanted to know specific incidents around cash benefit being impacted. So that would be family assistance or temporary assistance.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you. Cooling season, obviously. We are fast approaching heat season again, though. Just shocking. You see that our emergency housing placements are going up across the board to pre-pandemic numbers. You know, this is a large, we've had this conversation many times here, the market, the availability of affordable housing. This is a challenge across the state. Some counties do not have shelters. They're not able to use shelters. Motels are maxed out. We received word that one of the surrounding counties was using 20 rooms in our county and had some discussion with the commissioner, and they worked out another alternative. But that's the challenge. I mean, the homeless numbers, the eviction numbers, we anticipate that come January, there are even going to be greater numbers. So we'll continue to monitor, we'll continue to advocate for supported housing. We did I share with you all the last time that we had our first supplemental rent applicant move into an apartment? I didn't share that? Oh my goodness, I wish I had the synopsis in my hand, but a gentleman in his 80s, been homeless for 4 years, received disability benefits, but not enough to cover the rental in an apartment, was able to connect. We used 2 different funding sources. He's now in an affordable apartment, has a place of his own, and we are using the state funds to supplement the rent. And it's just a heartwarming story, because that's what you hope. And you know that the homeless population is so across the board, across the continuum, different age groups, different circumstance, you know, but our senior population is getting hit pretty hard these days. So we're pleased to have that be the first story of success, and Terry Torchio gets all the credit with the team and our eligibility side for doing that great work.
That's great. Thank you for sharing positive news.
It really is. We're one of the only counties across the state still that have that program approved. Everyone received money, but we are one of the only to have it approved. So our Medicaid, we have received in July of 22 our numbers, not a very significant increase from the month before. And I mean, the last numbers that were reported, this is for November of 2021. And I believe I told you all last time that they have extended the Medicaid waiver through December. So these folks will continue to be open through December without any recertification or eligibility requirement. I asked Doreen.
That's right.
The recertification is extended till December. So that means they have until December to recertify, or once December hits, then they have to or no, are they going to be notified by us or by the state?
Recertification has been fully waived
Right. that I
throughout the
understand.
pandemic, right? So at least through December, we are not beginning a recertification. And they have committed to give local governments and states 2 months notice before the waiver will be lifted. So there's just through December, so November, by October, if they're going to ask us to begin recertification process again, we should know by October, and that would then begin in January. So that's where we're at this point. We don't have any further news on
Yeah, I was just curious about that because you're going to be inundated if they do the recertification
that. Yeah.
in like 3-week time, yeah.
It does give us time to ramp up our staff. You can imagine, we've had a number of retirements, a number of new staff. Some of our Medicaid staff have never actually had to do the recertification process.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a learning experience for everybody.
Thank you, sorry, thank you.
So I asked Doreen to send to you all, thank you, Doreen, just a flyer on child abuse prevention. So as I've asked before, just if you can put things out on your social media pages, have them to share. It's just a reminder to our community what our responsibility is around reporting child abuse. So you have it electronically, I'm sorry, you don't have it in hard copy. And it's in both English and in Spanish. Includes all the appropriate numbers. It gives some examples of what you would want to report and how you go about reporting. So just a tool to get out to our community in as many ways as we can. We've had some very sad cases, and we really want our community to know that there is a place you can report. It's all of our jobs to protect children. So thank you for that. And raise the age. I think everyone across the state, again, having been at the meeting just yesterday, has seen an increase in, a decrease in their raise the age populations. There's consistent messaging about some of the challenges with that, and when detention centers are needed, challenges there. So I appreciate the OCFS commissioner, her hearing that we in Orange County and every other county in the state, when youth need to go into residential care, there are not enough beds. She heard that. They have a strategic plan in place to try to increase capacity. None of us want children to move out of their community, young people move out of their community, but some need to be in those levels of care. And right now they do not have resources available for that. So we look forward to seeing that strategic plan come to fruition. Foster care, still at 254. Those numbers are good, but here's our challenge again. We have young people who are disrupting, and we don't have any residential for them to go to. It's closed. They have staff go to hotel rooms with kids. I mean, that's a challenge. We have a cross-system meeting where we're really trying to sort through additional options for them. It's coming up over the next couple of weeks. All I can say is the staff have done incredible work, but our staff have been with us for 30 years and they've never experienced this challenge. The same youth disrupts from a placement today, then disrupts from a placement 3 days from, it just continues. And they're struggling to find security and safety and the right match for some of these young people.
What are the ages that you're finding these disruptive youth?
Well, we have, of our 254 in care, 69 of them are 16 and older. And of them, 32 of them are 18 and older. So, say you're 19 years old, you refuse to go to school, you refuse to get a job, you maybe smoking marijuana, drinking, you're not doing anything. It's not a place foster families are not comfortable with that situation. We still have a responsibility for them, but we're struggling to get them to do what they need to do. And then to find them someplace is very difficult. So, it's typically our older, our 17, 18, 19.
So
And
these ones are placed though now? The ones over 60? Whatever, what was it, 69 of them were?
today, everyone is someplace safe. Right now, 5 o'clock could be a different story.
4 o'clock.
Yes, that's right, exactly. Sometimes they get a call at 7 o'clock, sometimes they get a call at 5, you just never know. But they do phenomenal work, and let me tell you, they produce miracles. They've always found some place for you to go at the last minute. Our foster families, incredible. They might say no at 4 o'clock. When we call again at 7, they say, okay, I'll do it. And we really appreciate it.
And I forget where I saw it, but you're doing some promotions now to get foster families in Orange County.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit like where the placement's going?
Well, we actually have a marketing company that assists us with that, with bringing in our foster families, and they put it out in.
They do that.
They do. They send it out far and wide. In fact, I just had the notices approved and they are social media ready, so I can send them to all of you too.
That's great.
We're really targeting, again, for this age group, for the 16 and older, because again, the 6-month-old is easier to find placement for than adolescent with all of their complexity. So thank you for that. I don't want to miss Adult Protective. They're doing phenomenal work too. You just never know what's coming your way. Last Friday, it was someone dropped in the emergency room and again, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on a Friday, they're taking care of business. So, they're doing a great job of when they know something, doing something about it. Our child support team, active. I had the opportunity to join them for a little team building exercise, and I don't get the chance to meet with my staff face to face too often. And what an incredible bunch of people! So appreciate what they do. And that's it. Okay. Those are the little parts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did have a question about, you had, in the beginning of the meeting, you had talked about food pantries.
Yes.
And I've actually been in contact with a few food pantries, one in particular that keeps repeatedly telling me that they're really struggling. They're getting 380 people a day, Saturday, Sunday, whatever they're doing it, 380 people. That number has just gotten bigger and bigger, and it's becoming more and more challenging for them because obviously expenses for everything has gone up. So the food pantries themselves are struggling with the budgets that they've had to be able to purchase the amount of food that they used to get, and the number of people has gone up, and so the amount of food that might go to those individual families is obviously going to get smaller as well. And so I guess my question essentially is, are there ways for these agencies to tap into more resources for them to be able to purchase more food if they're seeing larger number of people? 380 is pretty sizable.
Yeah. Ironically, the county executive just reached out to me about the same,
Okay.
probably maybe even the same Saturday distributor over in Newburgh.
Could be.
And during the pandemic, we gave as an emergency benefit about 300,000 additional funds to the food bank of the Hudson Valley to help ensure that all of our pantries had funds. I would want to find out from them if they still have any of those funds left over and see if they can increase their delivery to that site. And also just to do a check-in with that 311 who takes some of those calls. Irene Kurlander, our deputy for DSS, led that project during the pandemic. So just want to check in with her and she can check in with her contacts, just see what's happening across the county. Not surprising, if you go to the grocery store, what you used to spend for 4 bags, you're now getting 2 bags. So it's tough. I agree. We'll make sure we stay on top of it. And Steve is supportive of whatever we need to do to help them be whole.
But I've gotten weekly updates on that, and they're just saying the numbers just keep getting harder, and the cases they see are more challenging.
Yes. Agreed.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure, okay, I have Chairwoman Benally first.
Thank you very much. I have to tell you, I am extremely impressed that the county executive got to you in such quick fashion, because this was something that we had discussed in a previous meeting with a few legislators earlier, just before this meeting. And we did become aware of some of the food pantries actually running out of food and ideas on what we can do. And he said he was going to be contacting you and probably Irene, so.
When the boss
He didn't
calls,
waste
I
any
answer.
time. So it's very happy to hear, and kudos to him.
Yes, he was right on top of it. Listen, it's one of his passions, right, for people not to go hungry. We all share in that commitment, right? So, yeah, agree. Legislator Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Thank you. Darcy, on page 13, your
Yes.
budget projection and revenue expenditures.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's Todd when I need him? No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Todd, where are you? Okay, so I'm just noticing that from a modified budget on state aid, we had budgeted 36,235,491, and looks like, is this the 6 million what you've expended or what you've received? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, for the DSS side, it's funny because on the mental health side, we get our money up front.
Right.
On the DSS side, we claim for it. So it's just a matter of claiming. And, we've had, again, so many retirements. It may be the state slow in paying us. It may be the agencies are slow in sending their vendor forms in. And it may be that we're behind in getting our plan into the state. So it could be any of those three areas that impact, but we intend by the end of the year, we'll be full. Well, we shouldn't say that, by early into the next year.
Yeah, because we have
Yeah,
the.
relay.
So, and then, I'm seeing the same thing under other, it's comparatively low on the federal, state and other aid. Or other, that you have, the first three categories.
Mhm.
So I was just trying to figure out if maybe next month you could give us a little bit more information on that, whether it's they're holding back, we've sent in the paperwork, or if it's a matter of us doing the paperwork to get that money
Sure.
approved for you.
And Thomas, here, you could answer that question, you know the answer
I
to
know.
it. So absolutely, I can definitely, and we'll discuss that.
Health
with them next
Ozzy
week.
was missed terribly.
He's on vacation. Oh, no, he's not on vacation. He's still in Saratoga. I left him in Saratoga. I was only there for one day, but it's actually a 3-day event.
So are the races going?
I don't
No,
even
otherwise
know.
Michael.
Yes.
In and out of there so fast, I don't even
Monday
know.
and Tuesday.
I think I'm still in Saratoga.
That's okay. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
nice there. I didn't get a chance to enjoy it.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
everything. We look forward to, oh, I'm sorry.
Just had one quick thing, just along the lines with the food bank. I was at an event and came up, someone approached me and they said that, would I be willing to help them? And I don't want to say too much, I don't want to jinx it, but it's, a local player here in the county with possibly a 7-figure, initiative to help out the food bank.
My number is.
I know what he meant, but just all,
That's awesome. That's
that would
really
be
good.
great,
Yeah.
you know? And that's all I'm saying. Thank you, Chairwoman.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
See you in a little bit.
Okay, and up next, thank you for your patience. I'm sorry we're cutting it close here. We have Anne Marie Maglio, Director of the Office of the Aging.
How are you?
We have, good, thank you for being here. We have a request to create one senior public health educator, grade 14 position, and one public health educator, grade 12. The positions will be grant funded. At no time will both positions be filled at the same time. Legislative request number 150. May I have a motion and a
So
second?
moved.
Second.
Okay, Legislator Tortel, Legislator Tui. Okay, the floor is yours.
So this is, very simply, this was really born out of the pandemic. And during the pandemic, we all know that older adults were targeted for this. So the health commissioner and the health department and I worked very closely together. And there were people in the health department that really just worked for the older adults. And this is really just kind of thinking ahead, keeping ahead of the curve, that God forbid anything else comes, we're prepared. They're going to be going out, they'll be doing some education and some outreach. So it just makes sense that it's cleaner, if they're in our office.
Sure. Okay, anybody have any questions? Yes, Legislator Tortel.
Thank you. Just, I didn't see in here, what's the terms of the grant? Like how long is it? Is it a one-time, 1 year, or is
The
it?
grant is a 1-year grant, but usually it's almost always extended.
Okay, so is this a new grant funding source from the state, or is it,
It's the existing grant that the health department gets, and the health department will simply subcontract with the Office for the Aging. And these grants come and go depending on the nature of the crisis, so if this one goes away, Dr. Maglone may put the employee into a different grant related to her office's services.
okay, great, thank you.
We don't anticipate it going, especially in light of what's going on in our
Right.
world right now.
Okay, great, thank you. No more other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you so much. In light of time, do you want me to come back and do an update on things, or do you want me to let you know what's
We
going
have
on
to
right
have to
now?
close one and open the other meeting.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, there were some initiatives that the director was going to let us know about.
You tell me.
How quickly can you do it? Is that-
I can do it really quick. So we're doing a lot of things. We're
Thank you.
doing listening sessions. Okay. We're doing listening sessions, which is what we're going around the county and we're asking people, what do you need? What can we help you with? Because we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what they need. So that's also addressing loneliness and isolation, which has been a huge issue post-pandemic. So that's been very good. We're up in Highland Falls today, had a very surprising number of people, almost 25 people, 24, I like to say 25. And it was wonderful, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to be doing some things. So that's good. I'm going to Tuxedo next month, and I'm going to Deer Park in Port Jervis. We're really expanding our Tai Chi and our bingo size and our matter of balance, because everybody knows the more you exercise, the more you stay in shape, the better quality of life you're going to have. And people are living older. And in order, let's have better quality of life. So we're doing a lot of that. We're doing an aging mastery, which we've done pre-pandemic, which is a 10-week series. And we get experts in the community talking about a variety of things: legal issues, health issues, exercise, nutrition, financial issues. And they have to commit to 8 weeks. And if they commit to 8 weeks, they get a $10 CVS or Walgreens card, which is very coveted. So they usually do at least 8 weeks, but most of the time 10 weeks, and they love it. So we're doing that. Again, dealing with, we know that we're going to have some crazy weather. We know this week we're having a real heat wave. So what we're doing is we're reaching out, we're extending our friendly visitor calls, we're calling everyone, making sure, are you okay? Do you have air conditioning? Do you have a friend that maybe has air conditioning? Do you have travel that maybe you can go to the mall and stay warm, but stay hydrated? So we're reaching out to them for that. We're doing senior games in September. We're doing it differently. We're going to do 2 days, and then we're going to do one event a month. And that's going to deal with loneliness and isolation. Instead of cramming it into 2 weeks and then nothing for a year, we're going to do one event a month so that then they have something.
When is that going to start?
It's going to start, we've got to figure out the Jewish holidays, but it's probably going to be mid-September. You'll all get an invite because we're going to do an opening ceremony. So we'll let you know about that. And that's going to be out at the park. We're doing a caregiving symposium in November. We're really trying to ramp up the congregate sites again, just getting people out again to socialize. These listening sessions are really helping with that. We're starting to do senior ID cards, and we're going to be working with the with county clerk's office with that, because a lot of people are giving up their licenses, and so they should, and then or letting them expire, so then they don't have any kind of legal form of ID. So the county clerk's office is helping us with that. That's going to be big, because once we do that, then we can go around the county and we can get some senior discounts for people that, at different places. We're working on a contract for music therapy. We think that's really great. We know with dementia clients, that really helps. And then the final thing is we are part of a pilot program with the state where we're going to be getting LEQs. And LEQ is, in my mind, what I think it is, it's a small version of, if you ever saw the Jetsons, the little maid. So she sits on the table and you program her to the person that's going to live there. So if she's going to be yours, she's going to say to you, so I see you just went to the grocery store. That's good. Did you put the milk in the refrigerator? Did you call your son? Because your son usually likes to hear from you. And it's all geared towards not only socialization, but just kind of living with them and helping them. So we're really excited, and I'll let you know about
And what
that.
did you call that?
It's called LEQ, ELLIEQ. So I have a Zoom call next Thursday on that, and then we asked for 5, so we're going to give it to 5, at-risk older adults. So we're excited about that. So I'll let you know.
Where
And
did
that's all I
it
have. It's coming from the state.
State.
And could you do you know, I was just wondering about this, if we have polling stations opened throughout the county for these?
I don't know if they've
days?
opened yet or not. We always take the lead with the emergency services and Darcy. So they kind of let us know, and then we partner with them. But usually if it gets to a certain degree, we usually do, I think it's like 95 or something.
The county doesn't open cooling centers, municipalities do, but oftentimes they do use the senior centers as a place for people.
I literally had come up in one of my memories on my Facebook page that the county executive had put that out a year ago to this day. So, okay, so the municipalities are doing it. Okay. All right.
Then we just support them.
Sure.
I
Okay.
just got, that got to be great. I couldn't get along on my Alexa.
It's really great, isn't it? It really is. So I went to a conference and they gave me a little thing, and they did this thing, and it said, hello, Anne Marie, how are you? Did you take your medication yet? So it's a great
Wow.
thing. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And
And simpler version of that is, a lot of people have like the Google or Alexa speakers.
Yes, yes.
And I have one in my home
Mhm.
and I've programmed it that every day it reminds my mother to check her
Exactly.
insulin at a certain time so in light of this, I mean, maybe that's something we could also
Absolutely.
remind, because a lot of kids and grandkids are buying these
Right.
for their parents and grandparents
Right.
as they're aging for different things, play the music, yes, it's great fun, but it
Exactly.
also can be.
But it's
really-
also that part too, that's really.
Yeah, because
that's
you
good.
can, you
know,
can set reminders and programs into it.
Right, exactly. Did you turn the teapot off? You're making a cup of tea, I heard the teapot, did you
Yeah.
turn the stove off? Things like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. She doesn't do that.
My
Alexa
mother, I
doesn't do
can't
that.
tell
That's
you
pretty
how
amazing.
many teapots she burns. So when I heard that, I'm like, that's a great thing.
Great thing. Well, thank you. I'm sorry that we ran short
No,
on
that's
time, but
fine.
Thank you
I
so
tried
much
to talk
for
as quick as
sharing
I
those
could, but
things.
thank you for all
They're
of your help.
wonderful.
I really
They're
appreciate it.
wonderful.
Thank you for all you do.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Paige, you can.
Okay, so we are all set. Can I have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Second.
Okay, Tui and Tortel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, meeting is ended. Thank you so much.